Welcome back to our conversation with jazz vocalist and songwriter Chantae Cann. And we talked about the fact that that Huntington's disease is something very familiar to you and your family. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about the diagnosis that you've watched with others, and then what happened with you.
So I just want to add, for fact's sake, I was not officially diagnosed. You can only be diagnosed when you start showing signs, but I tested positive for the gene.
Understood.
So there's a difference.
Thank you for that clarification.
Yeah, no problem.
So, but there are others in your family who do have it. So let's talk about what that's been like for you.
Mm-hmm. So the earliest remembrance of Huntington's disease was seeing my grandmother. And she actually lived in Atlanta. So when I lived in Chicago, my family would come and visit my grandmother in the nursing home. And we just knew that she couldn't talk. She couldn't, she could only express like these gestures. Like we knew that she was excited to see us, but that's all. Like the earliest memory of her was her not being able to talk.
And then how did the disease progress for folks who are not familiar with it? What is it like for, obviously you're not a physician, but you're someone who loved and knows what this was like. What kind of changes did you see?
So, well, I guess for my grandmother, I was so young to where that was the only way I saw her. And so then when I saw my mom kind of take that turn, and she
How old were you when you saw the changes with your mother?
Man, I want to say, I can give you a date. Okay, this is around 2005.
Okay, so this was, what's it like to watch your mom go from everything is fine to the changes?
It was one of the hardest things that I've ever had to witness, honestly. Seeing somebody that is full functional, like somebody who is my mom and played that role, having to go into this place of needing somebody to take care of her now.
Round the clock care.
Yes. And it wasn't even like, okay, like normally somebody my mom's age would be experiencing something that people's grandmothers at that would be experiencing. But to see my mom go from fully functional to not being able to talk and not being able to speak, it was hard, because that role reversal was really real, and it kind of brought a lot of things to the forefront, a lot of things that I had been running from for a long time.
Well, and these are things that you talk about in your new documentary. Let's talk about the documentary.
Let's talk about it.
Tell me more.
So, Beautiful Brave is the name of a documentary that I am working on that will be released sometime this year, but I've been working on it for a very, very long time to spread awareness about Huntington's disease, to get people the information, because a lot of people don't know about this disease. It's one of the lesser known diseases out there. So I knew that I wanted to kind of bring people in on that journey with me and share with them more than just my music. I wanted to share like a real relatable story. So I got the idea to do a documentary, which I've been working on for years and years and years, and it's finally now coming to fruition. And
we see personal stories in this. We hear from your father. We see what this is like for your whole family.
Yeah, it's a very personal labor of love, if you will. This is the epitome of labor of love. So,
and what's this been like for you? Because you said you had a gene test, right? And that's where they detected the gene for it. So what does it mean for you in terms of how you have to function and operate?
So when I got the gene test and it tested positive, it was probably one of the most like just life-shaking moments. You go in there with hope. You go in there with, well, maybe, because there's a 50% chance that it may be this, and there's a 50% chance it may be that.
And was it just watching your mother's battle with it that made you want to get tested?
Yes, and then my family members around me, namely my dad and namely people that I went to church with, they were like, you need to get tested so, you can know one way or the other and stop living in fear. So I was like, okay, let's do it, and let's bring people along for the ride.
Well, let's bring people along for the ride. We've got a little clip here. Let's take a look.
Okay. In the tapestry of life, there are threads of uncertainty that weave through our very existence.
Isn't it interesting, especially as church folks, when I say that, they say we don't always look like what we're going through.
Man, you just never know.
You never know
ever know
what folks are dealing with.
No. Some knots are tied with hope, while others are bound by fear.
I never heard of Huntington's at all, and it was Chantae who introduced that to me and gave me some places to look, and I just started researching it after that.
In the quiet corridors of my family's history, there is a story that echoes through generations.
What is, I had no clue.
Yeah.
And you've just been kind of dealing with this? And how has it shown up?
For those affected by Huntington's disease, every heartbeat carries the weight of a genetic predisposition.
It was just the joyful person that she was, and seeing her like that was difficult.
Today, I embark on a deeply personal journey with confronting a life-altering diagnosis.
Then that's when she told me about the probability of her also getting it.
My fear is that if I live long enough, I will start to see that disease affect her in the same way it affected her mother. And it's not anything I want to see.
This is Beautiful Brave.
It's real candid moments in there, really candid. The imagery there speaks volumes. What are you hoping people will get from this documentary and just even trying to put a spotlight on Huntington's?
Absolutely. I really pray that they get a sense of inspiration. I pray that they will, allow people to be human, and to people that they may see in the forefront or in the spotlight. I want people to allow people to be human and allow themselves to be human.
And I want to point out too that, you've got a lot of people in this documentary. You saw your father, it's Avery Sunshine that you're talking to at the piano, good friend of yours.
Yes.
How important was it to bring in the friends, the childhood friends, your father?
It was so important. It meant so much to me because these are the people who have literally seen me from the bottom. These are the people who have literally seen me see what it's like to witness this type of thing. So they have a behind the scenes view. They also have an in front view,
And for you, just knowing what can happen, what may happen, what may not happen, right? Because it doesn't always go this way.
Absolutely.
How does that affect you just moving forward as an artist?
As an artist, I believe it motivates me to be intentional about what I'm doing, be intentional about the art that I'm putting out, be intentional about the people that I'm keeping in my circle, and knowing that I want to leave a lifelong impact across the world, no matter how much time I have or don't have, whatever the clock says. I don't want that to be my determinant.
That's not going to define you.
Life.
What will define you and your best life is the song that we're about to hear when we return. We're going to hear Beautiful Brave by Chantae Cann in just a moment. Stay with us. Hey there, Portia here. Listen, that was a good conversation, wasn't it? Want to see the rest of it? Just go to portiashow.com, scroll down until you see that particular episode. But listen, before you scroll on out of here, I need you to do me a favor, please. Like, comment, let us know what you thought of that episode, and subscribe. And if you already are a subscriber, we sure appreciate you. In the meantime, we'll be sure to see you on the next episode of Portia, and you can catch us weeknights on Fox Soul as well. Tell your friends. Tell them to like, comment, and subscribe. See you next time.